Hello everyone. In this video, we will discuss the strategies of NEET MDS. So in this video, we will be talking about both of these students, those who are preparing for the next MDS, NEET MDS exam, that is 2025, and next upcoming exams, that is those students who are in third year, final year, or internship. How to prepare for NEET MDS? First and foremost question students struggle with is, should they prepare by themselves or should they join a coaching institute? I had joined a coaching institute just because I needed a guidance. If you have someone who can guide you, who can check your progress, then you don't need a coaching institute. Institute just provides you environment where you can study, where you can compete. So if you have someone, you don't need a coaching institute. Now these are most common coaching institutes students ask about. First is DEMS, then CDs, then Bhatia's MDS Coaching Institute, then Dental Pulse Academy, and Aspire MDS. You can take the screenshot and choose the coaching institute as you wish. These are general recommendation. So it is better to have a demo lecture of coaching institute, whichever coaching institute you think. Just take a demo lecture, and in this way you will have a better idea where you should join. So this was about coaching institute. Now let's talk about self-study. What if you are studying by yourself and you are preparing by yourself? Suppose our exam is in March. Suppose it is on the 23rd March and we are here, right? 28, 29. Suppose you start preparation from 1st February. So you have almost 45 days, right? So in 45 days, you have to complete 20 subjects. That means you have 2 days per subject and 5 days for revision and practice questions and previous year papers, right? So you start from the Monday. Suppose you start from here, from the Monday. From 8 to 1 and from 4 to 9, you will study for 10 hours every day, daily, right? Suppose you start with general anatomy, then from 8 a.m., you will start the general anatomy. Monday and Tuesday, anatomy. Then Wednesday, Thursday, biochemistry, and likewise. Second most important thing is the book. Which book you should read? Now, I personally read Dental Pulse, but whichever book you read, just stick to it. The important thing is you don't have to change the books. Whichever book, it may be Gauri Shankar, it may be Vadhwan or Dental Pulse. Any authentic book can work if you just study it daily, right? So suppose I started reading Dental Pulse on the first day. Now general steps are like we first solve the questions, then read the explanations, and finally synopsis. But as we have very limited time in this scenario, I will start with synopsis. I will read the synopsis 1 to 3 times in the morning. So suppose I started from 8 to 9, 10 p.m., 10 a.m., right? So 8 to 10 a.m., I will just read the synopsis 2 to 3 times. Until 1 a.m., I would have read the synopsis almost 3 to 5 times, isn't it? And in these 5 revisions, I would have almost covered or almost remembered 50% of the content. I don't want to remember anything, I want to just understand it. If I don't understand something, I will just open the textbook and read from the textbook. Otherwise, I will just read the synopsis. So in these 5 hours, I have read synopsis 3 to 5 times. Now I will take the rest, and then 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. I will again open the dental pulse, and now I will go to explanations of the chapters. So suppose I have completed the synopsis. Now I will open chapter 1, 2, and 3. I will read the explanations only, right? So in 3 hours, I will try to complete all the explanations. And because I have read the synopsis, I will be very fast while reading the explanations. So I have covered the synopsis, I have covered the explanations. Now I have 2 hours to cover 3 chapters to solve the MCQs. Now in 2 hours, I will try to solve the MCQs. Now because I have read the synopsis and explanations, the solving of the questions will be so much fast and so much easier. So this is the approach to read the dental pulse if you are planning to give the exam in NEET MDS 2025. Okay. So in this way, I have read the dental pulse on the first day. Now, when I start reading the second day, this is Ebbinghaus forgetting curve because we forget so much. On the second day, I would have just 50% of whatever I have read yesterday. So again, before starting the study the next day, I will revise whatever I have learned last day or yesterday. So I will just revise and then again start my revision, start my study. Similarly, after completing the subject, when I start new subject on the fourth day, suppose on the third day or fourth day, when I start the new subject, it is important to again revise the previous subject. So in this way, I will keep studying. Along with that, I will also revise whatever I have learned, right? So this is the important thing about revision. You don't have to spare another separate time. You have to just combine the study and revision together so that it will be very much easier and time efficient. Also, during the study you will have some thoughts, some doubts, so at that moment only you have to revise whatever you have learned previously. So this is about the revision. Now, as Bruce Lee said, I fear not the men who have practiced thousand kicks once, but I fear the men who have practiced one kick thousand times. This means that you don't have to read different 10 books. You have to just stick to one book and revise it again and again and again. So if you are reading Dental Pulse, stick to it. You don't have to read thousands of different books. Just revising Dental Pulse 10 to 15 times is more than enough. Second important principle is Pareto principle. Pareto principle says that your 20% effort will generate 80% of result. So suppose you are reading Dental Pulse, the most important things, the most important concepts that will be asked in the exam are only 20%. So you have to focus mainly on those 20% principles which will generate 80% of result. How do you do that? How do you know which are the important concepts and which are the important topics you have to focus on? For that, you have to solve previous year question papers. When you see the previous year question papers, it will be a lot more easier for you to understand the importance of the topic. So it is better to solve five last 10-year papers, but at least solve 5 year previous year question papers. It will cover almost 60 to 70% of your exam. So it is very very important to solve previous year question paper, because see, if you don't solve those questions and someone has solved those questions, he or she is already 60% ahead of you because they know the answer. They are directly copy paste questions. So you cannot afford to leave these previous year papers, right? So you have covered Dental Pulse, how to approach the preparation, how to revise during the preparation, and what is the importance of previous year papers. So your preparation is almost complete, but one of the most important thing is the mock test. Because you are prepared, now you have to check whether you can perform well or not. You may know how to bat, right? But you have to practice so that during the match it is easier to perform. Similarly, when you give mock test, there are so many things which will be improved. Your time management skill, your confidence, and your anxiety will be reduced. So, it is very important to give mock test. When you give several mock tests, your brain have idea about the exam, and in the final exam, it will be just another exam for your brain, and you will have no worries or tension during the exam. So third important thing is mock test. So this was about your preparation part. Dental pulse, then your revision, then your previous year papers and mock test. These are the pillars of your preparation. Next is anxiety management. Suppose you are doing everything and still you are anxious that whether you will get the good rank, whether you will get the government seat or not. So for that, this is an important curve you should understand. This part is the lower stress and this is the higher stress. Suppose you are here in low stress environment, your body will be relaxed and you will not have optimum focus. So good news is some stress is important for your preparation. If you are feeling little bit about stress, if you are feeling optimal stress, then your performance will also improve. So stress and performance graph shows that optimal stress will give you the peak performance. And it is important to understand that stress is normal. It is okay to feel stress. Everyone feels stress, just it should be under your control. So if you are feeling so much stress, then there are some steps you should take. First is deep breathing exercise. While studying, if you are feeling so much stress, just concentrate on breathing, breathe in and breathe out. Your physical exercise is also important. By just doing 20 to 30 minutes of exercise daily, it will reduce your stress level by 40%, and it is very important while managing, while studying. Second is this important quote from Bhagavad Gita. Your duty is to just read for your exam. Your duty is to just prepare for the exam. You are not doing for yourself, you are not doing it for your family or friends or anyone. You are not doing this for anyone. You are doing the preparation because it is your duty. So at the end of the day, it is very important that you think that okay, I have done enough, I have done as much as I can, and now I don't have any regret about the preparation, and I don't worry about the result. And finally, just remember the Kobe Bryant. You have to work harder than anyone else. If you work hard than everyone around you, your stress level will be automatically reduced because you know that you are preparing more than anyone else. Okay, so this was about the preparation part, your mindset, how to manage your anxiety and stress. Now comes the D day, the day and the day before the exam. How to manage that 24 hours. So for that, I have this best example. You cannot fight with this kind of body. Even if your weapon is sharp, even if your sword is the best sword in the world. Similarly, whether you have practiced mock test, whether you have prepared better than anyone else, it is not important if your brain is not ready for the exam, right? So, first and foremost thing is sleep. At least 7 to 8 hours of sleep is very important for the best performance in the exam. You cannot neglect the sleep before exam. It is very, very important. So have the rest, have proper rest, take proper sleep, then only your brain will be optimum while the exam. Second is energy. Before exam, have complex carbohydrates. This will boost your energy and it will keep providing you the energy for the long run. So have complex carbohydrate, get proper sleep, and third is exercise. You don't have to run so much, but just before exam, 20 to 30 minutes of brisk walking, little jumping, or simple jogging will improve your blood circulation, improve your stress releasing hormone, and improve your focus. It has been shown in the studies that exercise before the exam drastically improves the result. So it is very, very important to have some kind of exercise before the exam. So this was before the exam. Get proper sleep, get proper nutrition, and little bit of exercise. Now the exam, that is the war. How to tackle the exam, what to do in the exam hall, how to approach the exam. So when you get the question paper or when you start the exam, first phase is easier phase. You have to give the exam in three phases. First phase is easy questions. You just choose those questions which take less than 10 seconds. So these are these type of questions where you don't have to waste so much time. You just read the question and tick the answer and move on. These kind of questions should be solved in the first phase, that is easy phase. You read the question, if you don't know the answer, move on. Next question, long question, you don't know the answer, move on. Next question. Just read on just tick only those questions which are easier and less than 10-second questions, right? Why am I telling you to just take those questions first is because easy question will not be left even if you cannot manage the time, right? So first is easy questions, second is lengthy questions. After first phase, second phase will be the lengthy questions which will take your time. They are just time consuming, but they will be easier. In second phase, choose those questions, tick the answers, and move on to next questions. So till now you have covered easier questions which are of less than 10 seconds and lengthy questions which will take more than 10 seconds but they are easier ones. Almost 50 to 60% of your all the questions will be like this only. Now third part is guessing. Should you guess in the exam? If you know, if you are confused between two options, then I would suggest you can guess because probability is in your favor. But there are some tricks you can use. So, for example, most commonly drugs, if any question says most commonly used drug, that means already you have heard the name of the drugs. 50 to 60% of the questions where the answer is all of the above, then statistically it is the correct answer. Another important tip is generally the longer options are the correct answers. I am not saying that it is 100% true, it is not always right, but generally longer answers are the correct answers. So these are some tricks to solve the 50-50% of the answers. But most important thing is avoid random guessing. If you don't know the answer, just leave the question because negative marking will drastically reduce your marks. So just avoid those questions which you don't know the answers of.